Hey, so how you doing, man?
How am I doing? Why are you always asking me how I'm doing? How are you doing? You better worry about how you. What? Who? Who put that there?
You did.
I think I know where
No,
my
I didn't
drinks
put
is.
there. You did.
I don't spill drinks, all right? I need another beer. How I'm doing? Well, I'll put it this way. I went and looked at a new truck today. And you know what? I don't know if I'm going to buy one or two of them. That's how I'm doing. You worry about how you're doing. I feel pain. I want to introduce you to somebody I used to know when I was drinking all the time, and his name was Mr. Fancy. And what I used to do is sit at the bar, get a few drinks in me, and I want to talk with everybody. So somebody new would come in, and I'd latch right onto them. Where are you from? And they'd say, I remember this one couple said, oh, we're from Florida. We're heading up to Canada to see our son. He just had a baby. And boy, did they say the wrong thing. Because they mentioned a state that I had been to before, Florida. When you're drunk, you don't get around very much. There's no money to go on vacations, to go on trips. And I don't really have any enthusiasm to do anything because I'm either drunk or hungover all the time. So I really prefer just to sit on this bar stool. And if there's people around to have a good time that night, I can have fun in the basement of a sewer plant or at Trump Towers. It doesn't matter to me either way. But they said Florida, and I had been there a couple of times. I used to drive my grandparents down to Florida or back. I did that a couple different times. So I had a little experience. So of course my big question is, what part of Florida? Like I spend a lot of time down there. Of course I have no idea where they're from. But as the night goes on, I like to tell them that, me and my family, we go to Florida once or twice every year, always on vacation. We usually go for 2 weeks. Sometimes, this year we might go for a month. I'm always confused whenever I'm telling these stories. I don't really ever know. I don't know if we're going once, if we're going twice. Are we going to be there for 2 weeks? Or we're not sure, we might stay for a month this time. You see, because of my job, I can take off any amount of time I want. I used to tell these stories all the time. And as the conversation goes on, I'm sure I would tell these people that I have 4 adult children, basically. At the time, they're probably in their late teens. So, when 6 people, basically 6 adults, are going on a family vacation for 2 weeks or a month, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And, I'm talking to these people like, I have no idea. I have so much money that I don't know if we're going on 1 or 2 vacations. And I used to do this all the time and dream it up. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to be those people. I wanted to be living that responsible, good, clean life, going to work and saving our money, being able to go see our son when he has a baby and not even bat an eyelash, I wanted to live that life, but instead I'm sitting at the bar and I'm drinking and going to have to figure out how I'm going to make my truck payment or how I'm going to pay the mortgage. Because I don't have any money, man. We do this when we have a drinking problem. We live in a fantasy land. Of course, another thing we like to do is sit at the bar and talk about all of our big plans for the future. We're going to be buying a new truck. All right, we're going to be getting a new side-by-side and trading in the 4-wheelers for a new one. we're putting additions on the house, and the wife wants to put in a pool, which is, that's only $35,000. We've got these huge plans. But, I haven't met anyone yet who sits at the bar every night, blowing every penny they can and buying people drinks, and spends their whole life sitting on a bar stool, but they still have every toy and can go on vacation. I just don't know anybody. When people have that amount of money, they don't normally sit on a bar stool for their whole life. So what's going on here, my root problem that I have going on here is ego, and I'm self-absorbed. When I'm sitting at the bar talking about these things, my ego, I have to pump myself up, okay? It may appear like I'm just some loser who sits on a bar, that I'm some loser sitting on a bar stool in a bar in the middle of nowhere, drunk at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It may appear like that, but oh no, I'm highly successful, and I travel across the country and the world. See, that's my ego, and that's a huge problem for an alcoholic or for somebody with a drinking problem, that we're always thinking about self, and we're always the victim. Okay, see that has something to do with my ego, and with being self, because it's always someone else's problem. It could never be my problem. It's always someone else, and we love to take other people's inventory. She's doing this and this wrong, and she's a liar, she does blah, 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 but we never look at ourselves. So that's really what I need to do. I need to recognize this and know that ego and self are at the root of just about every issue in my life when it comes to drinking. So I need to stop pointing fingers. I need to realize that I have that problem. I need to start looking at myself. When I have an issue with somebody in a relationship, we're not getting along real well, or I've done something to disappoint or anger this person, instead of looking at them and saying, well, they did this and they did that, I need to look at what I have done. You see, I'm responsible for my side of the street. They're responsible for theirs. I don't need to worry about them. I need to worry about me. And I'm the one with the ego problem. And I need to start thinking about helping others and putting others in front of myself. You see, I've lived my whole life, right? I've spent my life on this bar stool. Now, if I've got 4 children, and I'm blowing all of our money and trying to figure out how I can make a car payment, how are those kids being taken care of? If I'm at the bar all the time, how's my wife feel? I've been disappointing and putting myself in front of everyone for years. You know what I mean? My wife doesn't want me sitting at the bar all night, and neither do my kids. They want to spend time with me. You know what I mean? And me blowing taking the money that I should be earning for them and just blowing it on myself. I mean, how selfish is that? So I need to start putting other people in the forefront of my mind, not myself. And here's a practical way to get that started, because I'm telling you, we can get so far gone on this that we have no idea. You might be listening to me say this and you have no idea what I'm talking about. You have no idea. And you don't know what to do. Well, one thing that you can do, let's say we're walking into Walmart, and me and a large family come walking up to the door at the same time. Now, normally what I would do would be try to hurry up to get ahead of this family so that I don't have to walk behind them, because they'll be walking too slow, or they might get ahead of me in line and I'll have to wait. So I would normally jump in front of them. But you know what? Why don't you stop, open up the door, and let them go first? It's little things like that, And what I used to do in my mind, because I was so far gone, that when I do something like that in my mind, I'd think, you know what? Why don't you guys go first? Because you're more important than me. All right? Now, we don't do these things to knock ourselves down and that, oh, we're just terrible, awful people. I'm like dirt. But see, I'm so far gone. I need to start that. It helps me to get that attitude, to learn how to start thinking of others before myself. Because I always used to put myself so high. You know, it really isn't that much of a stretch. You know, we got a good, nice family here, and here I am, I lying, right? I used to sit there and tell these people these stories all the time. That wasn't just one story that I told. I used to do it all night long, every night. So I'm a liar, right? I'm a thief. I'm stealing from my family. I'm a horrible husband. I'm a horrible father. I'm a horrible son. I've let my parents die. I've let everybody I know that I down. I'm nothing but a drunk. You know what I mean? So you know what? The chances are you are more important than me. So why don't you go ahead? You know, so we need to start being honest with ourselves and evaluating and seeing where the roots of the problem are. You know, and that I have deeper issues, okay? Alcoholism and having issues with drinking isn't solely about alcohol, okay? There's deeper issues there, and the biggest one is going to be ego. So I need to evaluate myself, admit where I have done wrong, and start the process of fixing that, you know. And no matter what we do, the root to every issue is always going to be spiritual. This is a spiritual issue. We're never going to get away from that. And we're going to talk about that in our next video. But you know, where this is spiritual is that ego and being selfish and self-centered, those are not traits of God. God does not give you those things, okay? That is not the traits, the fruits from a Christian life. That's evil. That comes from the enemy, okay? So this goes to show again that the enemy is working in my life. I need to change those things and get them so that I start betraying the fruits of God, and the fruits of the Bible, the fruits from being a Christian. So we'll talk about that in the next one. We're going to get into some real deep stuff the next time, and the stuff that's really going to set you free. We're going to get to the real root of the problem. This is what's going to give you freedom so that you can live the rest of your life and not, you know, always be thinking about alcohol. Or you're not always going to have alcohol on your mind all the time. You're constantly in the battle. You're going to be set free. You're going to start a new life. And it's better than the one that better than what you've lived already. Hey, why don't you click on that little ditch sign in the corner? That's how you can subscribe to my channel. You know, and can you like and share it? You know, I really need some help getting this out. You know, one of the hardest parts of getting these YouTube channels started is your first few viewers. You know, and so I'm trying to get a good core, and then it just, once you get a certain number of viewers, it just starts growing, or subscribers. It slowly, just naturally starts growing, but I need help getting to that certain point. So could you please help me out and just subscribe? I appreciate that. Have a great day, man.